Welcome everybody to Daytona International Speedway for the first round of the 2018 Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge. Happy New Year from an absolutely buzzing grid. Right behind me you can see all three classes lined up. The drivers have had a very short off season, but boy have they upped their game. This is going to be an amazing season, but it's about to start right now.
Racing history runs deep in Daytona Beach, Florida. In fact, it goes all the way back to 1902 when the first speed event took place here, utilizing the beach and parts of U.S. Highway A1A. But in 1959, the search for speed moved here to Daytona International Speedway. Now entering its 60th season of hosting world-class events, we start off the 2018 season with the Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge Series. Welcome to Fox Sports coverage of the BMW Endurance Challenge from Daytona. Hello everyone, I'm Brian Till along with Calvin Fish and Tommy Kendall. 2018, a brand new season. What that means, gentlemen, new teams, new drivers, and plenty of new stories.
Brian, I'm so excited to get this new season started. When you look at that grid, simply spectacular. So many new team and driver combinations, so many unanswered questions in terms of performance. But one thing we do know is the explosion in growth in the GS class continues. We've got 30 cars entered here this weekend. 28 will see the green flag this afternoon. And that includes 7 brands represented on that grid, Tommy. New cars from Audi, BMW, Mercedes AMG. And they couldn't be making their debut on a bigger stage than right here at Daytona.
Well, this time of year, everyone thinks they have a chance, so you're at Daytona, the big house. A lot of these guys are literally still in high school, some of them. A lot of people never been in a Continental race. So add that to the nerves. You've got these beautiful new machines, a relative lack of experience in a good part of the field, and they're getting ready to take that green. I can't wait to see what happens.
And the other new thing about Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge in 2018, a brand new class, TCR, another global platform, much like GT3 and GT4. Expect that class to explode throughout the 2018 season. But we talk about this very unique racetrack. Calvin, take us around for a lap.
Tommy, you called it the big house, and it has big speed. 3.56 miles, almost 2.5 miles are spent on the tri-oval. The GS cars will exceed 170 miles an hour as they cross the start-finish line. Tricky transition over the apron down into turn 1, and expect lots of action through the infield with 3 classes mixing it up. Turn 4 King puts a premium on a well-balanced car, and the key corner is turn 6, getting the power down to accelerate down that backstretch and possibly make a move into the bus stop. The bus stop is really quick and takes total commitment, which can make or break your lap time. There is no better venue to get this season started than Daytona International Speedway.
Well, Tommy Kendall said it. There is a youth movement out here. Now, you know, this series has long been thought of as the proving ground for the next generation of sports car racers. But Ford Performance have recognized that it's more than just that. So over the course of this season, we're going to see some of their young drivers from the various NASCAR platforms coming in to sharpen up their road racing skills. This weekend, we have Austin Cindric and Chase Briscoe, as well as Cole Custer and Ty Majeski sharing duties between a pair of Multimatic Mustang GT4s. They're being led and coached by 3-time IMSA champion, 2016 GS champion Scott Maxwell. Scott told me these guys have plenty of speed. They definitely have youth on their side. It's all about learning the skills of racing when you have to turn left and you have to turn right. It's the first race they've been able to use data. It's also the first race, with the exception of Austin, that they have to do driver changes. So still plenty to learn throughout the season.
Coming to the green right now, we talk about rookies in the field, but we've got experience on the front row as you look at the Continental starting grid there at the top of the screen. Starting up front, a lot of experience, Calvin.
Yeah, Spencer Pumpelly put this Porsche on the inside there on the pole. He's going to share it with last year's GS champion, Dylan McCavan. And on the outside, a new team. Steve Dinan is back in racing, and it's not with BMW. It's with the Audi on the outside of the front row.
Nice slow start. Looking, Pumpelly looking for the green. 4 hours of Continental Tire sports car action from here at Daytona. Field aligned nicely, and they will wait until they get to the starting mark. Talk to Bo Barfield, the race director. He said, only I and the pole sitter know where it is. He must have gotten there because that is a big jump by Pumpelly.
Nice job there by Spencer, but look to the inside. Kyle Marcelli and that red and black Mustang is looking down to the inside. McQuarrie comes back under the braking. Big move there by a Porsche down to the inside. One of the Caymans is up to 4th.
bit of cloud cover today. It's going to take a little bit, maybe a couple of laps to get some temperature, and you can see just how crowded. Mercedes now well represented in the GS class.
And these horseshoes are where the action happens. Really slick. These cars do have ABS, which helps.
Everyone's just got to settle in here. You can see the jockeying for position early as they come off that hairpin turn. There's that high-speed Kingo was talking about, turn 4.
And heavy braking again down into the west horseshoe, and you see the strength of that Mercedes on the outside, the 92, trying to make a move around the 8 Mustang. Patrick Gallagher, a lot of experience in Mazdas in the MX-5 Cup. I was going to say, James Clay, just kind of that little mistake, and you make it when you're in the middle of a stint and there's no one around you. You lose a couple of seconds on the racetrack, maybe. You lose it on one of these restarts like that, you're going to lose 2, 3, 4 positions.
I wonder if he had some tire pickup or something, just didn't have the grip. Maybe the ABS kicked in as well. That just kind of sends you straight from him, and you're not still getting the same braking force. And ran wide, and he was eaten up coming off that corner because of that lack of momentum.
3 wide, a little further back in the pack. Take a lap or 2 to get things settled down just a little bit. Look at this battle.
This is awesome racing.
Yeah, and that is that Murray car. We don't know which Murray because they're both D. Murray, and the scoring monitor says D. Murray's in the car.
Man, but what a great story. David Murray, been around racing for a long, long time. Great race car driver, and now has a chance to race with his son for the first time. And Jamie Howe, that's got to be exciting.
Well, I can tell you that it is Dylan Murray in the car because I'm here with David Murray. David, getting to race with your son here this weekend, what has this been like for you?
It's been fantastic. We've done a couple of go-kart races together, but never raced cars together. He's been racing, of course, 10 years in go-karts and Legends cars and did some late model K&N. But this is his first sports car race at a big track, and it's really special for us to drive together, for me and for him. And it's pretty neat to see him out there doing well.
He's only 17 years old, so you mentioned he has 10 years of experience, but that means he would have started at about 7 years old. What do you see in him that you think makes it possible for him to achieve success here?
He's been driving for that long, but we watched him as he's going along, make sure he's not haphazard. We've always focused on long-term championships instead of crash or win. And he's been very solid, never puts wheels wrong and does everything right. So you look at that and think, but he's still fast. And so you feel like, okay, well, now he's got the ingredients, and now you're not worried about him, going 170 miles an hour.
All right, Dad, so who's faster? Which one of you's faster?
Yes. I will say this, at that test days, and we were looking at data, and we came back, and I watched him on the phone outside. I said, you calling Mom? He says, yeah. I said, you telling her you were faster than me in turn 1 and through the infield. So he was almost there at the whole lap time, but he was faster than me until we came out.
And he's been gracious this weekend, guys. David is going to get in the car for the first time this weekend when he takes over for his last stint.
That is hilarious. David's such a good guy, former champion, and always been. I worked with him years ago at Skip Barber. He's always been just a super guy, good race car driver.
When he says we, his wife Trudy is part crew chief, part mom, part tow vehicle driver, because he literally just got his driver's license a year ago, and so all those early days, I think David says he's won 10 championships of various types.
12,
so it's a true family affair, and that team, that BGB team, is a local team run out of Ormond Beach here.
See a problem for the 21 in the ST class. Faulkner slow on track as there's Dylan Murray in the 38 Porsche, slides a little up high, and is he going to exceed that position to Hart in the 72?
That was cool. Good racing there. Dad taught him well.
And Jason Hart looking inside now.
But he's giving him racing room. Yeah. Look at that. That's just good, solid heads-up driving right there. And then you've got that Aston there in front of him that's a little bit slower.
And they split it
side by side.
It's good to see, and the experience that's being gained here is one thing. I thought David said he never put a wheel off, and that's going to be a problem.
On there, Dylan.
That was almost without some poise. That could have been a big accident.
Yeah.
But he kept it straight, eased it back on, but now he's in deeper than he wanted to be.
Yeah.
And then got clear on the outside, and I think he gathered it up. We cut away, but I guess we'd be back if he hadn't.
Meanwhile, Spencer Pompelli has made the move to pit row, and that has moved and elevated the 15, the Mustang, up to the lead right now. Derek Jones in the red Mini in second place, trying to chase down the 81 BMW. Back to Grand Sport. There's the 56, that bright orange Mercedes in the middle of that battle. And this is where it starts to ebb and flow. Eric Foss behind the wheel of the 56 right now. These pit stops as they cycle through. We played the game well, like you were just saying, Calvin. If you've done it right, you should only need one more stop. If you miss somewhere along the way or guessed incorrectly, you may head to pit lane twice.
Talk about playing it right. Look at this, Cosmo's there. Remember him going down a lap in the last an hour ago, Tommy, and now he's suddenly there in that number 4 car on the lead lap. So Joe Vardy and the boys there, PGM done a great job of keeping that car in the mix.
Martin Barkey in the 80 Mustang there in front. You see the 72 of Jason Hart as well. 3 different manufacturers right there battling over that spot, and then throw in the 4th manufacturer. There is Murray once again. He recovered from that little slight off going into turn 5 and is right back in the fight.
Barkey and Sandberg could be a strong combination for the championship this year, running with the AWA team, a new team formed up in Canada.
Guy Cosmo out in front. He's behind the safety car right now. The 4th full course caution here at Daytona. In his Mini back to the garage area. That's handed the lead to Nick Gallant in the 81 BMW in ST. Pierre Kleinubing's taken over the lead in TCR. Tom Long with a little problem on their pit stop. Got hung up, and Pierre Kleinubing leapfrogged his teammate there in pit lane. That's the order in the 3 different classes. Cosmo brings the field to the line, and interesting strategy going on for Guy Cosmo and Corey Fergus in the McLaren just right behind him. Those 2 cars really the only in the GS category running up front that haven't made a stop. As far as see your leaders up front, Cosmo, what's he going to do? Fergus is now actually taken over the point. Well, timing scoring's got to cycle through. Things have gotten mixed up.
Yeah, Cosmo's got a long run on this fuel run behind a ton of caution period to extend that, but he's going to be tight to make it on one more stop. Everyone else behind him, behind the front 2 runners right now, should be good on 1 stop to the finish. So I was saying you hate to question Joe Vardy.
And I think we may be seeing a little bit of first race jitters as well from some of the drivers, but definitely going into the last pit stop, guys, you're going to want to make sure you're clean in and out. And so we may see some pit out of sequence, just saying.
Well, I mean, the pit lane is one of those places where, as Justin said, if you can't get the car in square, then the guys can't do their work. And then you got to start worrying about hitting pit equipment on the way out, which will get you a penalty. So good battles here. You see the 82, that Bimmer World BMW, Tyler Cook behind the wheel right now, fighting Spencer Pumpelly.
The RS1 Porsche has just had a lot of grip, good balance all day long, Tommy, and Spencer putting it to good use right there.
Just in front of these guys, Stephen McAleer in the number 5 Porsche, going around the silver, black, and green of 38. That was David Murray. We talked to him a little bit earlier. They're being shown a lap down right now, so that car just in front of Spencer Pumpelly. Pumpelly in that red, black, and white RS1 Porsche. David Murray really not in the fight, so Pumpelly going to want to get by him as quickly as he possibly can.
Yeah, now that Cosmo isn't going to have to make that 2nd stop, there's quite a few cars. Spencer's had the car all day long, but he's got a lot of ground to cover, so it's going to be interesting. Either Joe has miscalculated, which you said he doesn't do very often, or and there's a number of cars, so Spencer's going to have to get on his horse.
It's going to be a long stop, though, for Cosmo. He's going to need a full fuel load, and some of these others should be a partial fuel load, so we'll have to wait and see how that plays in terms of time spent on that final stop.
One thing I want to comment on, when we were on board with Spencer when the car spun in front of him in Westfall, is just how little drama there was. And the more experience, some guys, their eyes are always way out in front. No matter what they're doing, they still have peripheral vision or something. So he got that information in plenty of time and just drove around it, which made it look easy. The guys further back, you wonder if they have spotters giving them some information. Sometimes they're right up the back of another car. Sometimes they're just got their eyes down in the red mist.
Speaking about right up the back of another car, Austin Cindric now really closing in on Guy Cosmo. Cindric in that dark gray number 22 Mustang, really putting the pressure on Cosmo as they head into turn 6.
Yeah, what a young driver he is. He's Raced in so many different disciplines of motorsport, just got a lot of experience on those young shoulders, and he's chasing down the leader right now.
All that money I saved from not racing, I'm about to spend and go racing again. Dylan McIvern, final lap, looking for his first Daytona class win. It would be the second for Spencer Pumpelly. And a huge celebration awaits Dylan McIvern after winning the championship last year, a new co-driver in Spencer Pumpelly. And they'll look to start the season off the right way. Dylan McIvern, Spencer Pumpelly, and Porsche.
Right now, those cars are up front. Not quite the absolute pace, but it's going to be a good year.
Great battles throughout. You guys just talked about a little argy-bargy here and there. Not a big deal. That's what you expect in Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge Series. It's been a great day for Jamie Howe, Justin Bell, Tommy Kendall, Calvin Fish. I'm Brian Till. Thanks for joining us. Next up will be Sebring. Make sure you catch every single lap of it. 2 hours of battles in Florida. See you then.